Hi, we're the HPP Group and we help businesses improve their IT and cybersecurity. Now in this video I want to talk a little bit about 3 ways that you can save money with IT. Now there are probably lots of different ways you can look at this, but the 3 ways in particular I'm going to be looking for are around key things within your business that could be costing you too much or have maybe spiraled out of control a little bit. So the first one I want to talk about is about utilising the cloud for application hosting or software hosting basically. So this could be any software in your business, but quite often we're talking about things like accounting software or CRM software or any kind of ERP or major piece of software that runs your business. And typically, unless you bought that very recently and specifically to be hosted in the cloud or as a cloud service, chances are that's installed on a physical server that's in your office or in one of your offices, and that's how you connect to it. Now actually, if we remove that piece of technology, that server, and we host it in the cloud, which technically it's still hosted on a server, it's just not hosted on your server, it means that we can spread those costs over a longer period of time, and it also means from a total cost of ownership point of view, our costs are going to reduce. Now, of course, that does take some time. Normally, that break point is somewhere between 3 and 5 years. But if you think that the cost of, or the lifespan of a server, and therefore the cost of owning a server, happens when you buy it in the first place, you have the installation cost of putting that in, you have the ongoing support and maintenance, which doesn't go away, but the installation and the purchase does. And then that installation and purchase happens again, normally at about a 5-year period, sometimes a little bit sooner, sometimes a little bit later. But that doesn't happen when we're hosting it elsewhere because our costs are basically a rental and support and maintenance on top of that. So actually when we look at this with businesses over a long period of time, say 10 years, where we'd have to buy a server, buy another one at 5 years, buy another one at 10 years, the total cost of ownership is significantly different over that period of time. But actually the breakpoint can happen much sooner than that. So there you go. Number 1, we're going to look at actually how we're hosting our software and whether or not we could actually make big savings, certainly over the long term, by moving that to a hosted or cloud environment. The second one to look at is your phone system. Now, phone systems, again, this is another area where cloud can be huge, but actually there are several different approaches with phone systems now and several different technologies that can save you huge amounts of money. So by looking at a new phone system and by looking at a modern phone system that's using that technology, actually we can reduce not only the cost of implementation, the ongoing support costs, but also the costs of our calls and, if you like, the ongoing costs of that phone system itself. Like I say, without going too much into the technology, ultimately what we can do is we can reduce the cost of calls internally. So if you're making calls between your own offices, if you've got multiple offices, we can reduce those calls, but also outbound calls as well. Actually, we can reduce those calls or manage those calls on a kind of a package, a bit like how you buy a mobile phone effectively. And we've seen a number of our customers recently make huge savings on their phone systems because they simply haven't looked at it and haven't reviewed it recently. So if you haven't done that for a while, absolutely a brilliant time to review your phone system right now because there could be huge savings that you're missing out on there. And the final one as well is actually about reviewing your processes within your business and then looking at your complete software estate and your IT estate and saying, well, how much duplication have I got here? And also, how much kind of white space have I got where we could be doing something technology that would save us time, make us more efficient, but we are doing it the long way round. Now, the obvious place to look for this is spreadsheets. So as much as we all love Excel, and I love Excel as well, but when you've got lots and lots of them, it normally is a good indicator, not always, but it normally is a good indicator that there's some inefficiency there. Typically they're slow, they're very difficult in terms of actually tying in with other systems, so there's a lot of data duplication there. And also you're absolutely at the mercy of the skill effectively on Excel of your staff. And I think most businesses you come around have kind of one member of staff who's that wizard on Excel and everyone else who kind of bumbles along. So if you've got that going on, it's a really good indicator. So if that's the case, then actually you want to be looking at your existing software packages and saying, well, are there actually solutions for this that haven't got yet. So actually, I know this is kind of a backwards way of thinking about it. It's actually spending more money to reduce time and therefore reduce kind of costs overall. And again, in the long term, what could we be doing with that? And then the flip side of that as well is the way that we've gone with certainly software, and in particular SaaS software or cloud-based software, is people have added applications and applications and applications onto their business. So a very obvious example of things like HR software, payroll software, CRM software, marketing software, account software, production software, you name it, there's a cloud application that has a specific job each time. And of course, those costs can start to escalate because what we're looking at then is monthly pricing, no contract terms, and it's very easy to sign up, have your monthly fee, and all of a sudden you're paying £1,000, £2,000, £3,000 a month because all of these costs are racking up and racking up and racking up. Now, actually, if we look at that estate of software you've got and say, well, how much data duplication have we got across all of these? How much now cybersecurity risk because we've got multiple passwords from multiple users across multiple things, compared to the benefit we're getting from that, when actually, do we need to review our core software? Do we need to look and say, is actually our core piece of software doing what it needs to do? Is there add-ons? Is there bespoke work that could be done? Or actually, is it time to review that piece of software, reduce those overall costs that have swelled and grown into a single system, potentially, again, going back to my original point, a cloud-based system that could even kind of cut your other hosting costs as well. And therefore, you can actually get that double win of reducing costs and increasing efficiency at the same time. So hopefully that gives you 3 areas to look at. 1, how are you hosting your software at the moment? 2, your phone system. And 3, your software applications, and are they working hard enough for you? Of course, we can help with all of these areas I'm talking about, in particular our own data hosting in our data center. In particular, recently, Avaya Cloud Office, a new product that's come onto the market, along with the phone system that goes alongside Microsoft Teams. And then from a software point of view, I'm sure you're aware, we offer lots of different options for this, so we can help do a free review in any of these areas for you. So if you are interested to talk to us more, just give us a shout and we'll get the ball rolling.